Welcome guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike and today I have another lovely piece from my collection for you. Just before we get into that, let's do a quick wrist shot. Today I am wearing the MTG S1000D. That's on my 7 3/4 wrist, and as you can see, it wears quite big. More on that one a little later. But for now, here we are with the third and final tuna in my collection. This is the Seiko Marine Master 1000 SBBN027. This, guys, is the crowning glory piece in a collection. It is absolutely fantastic. Let's get this box out the way, guys, and I'll give you some details, some specs on this watch. So this lovely Marine Master 1000 has a case size of 49.4 mil. It has a lug to lug of 52 mil. So it's a big boy, even though the lugs are nicely hidden underneath the shroud there. It is a big watch. This is a lovely big watch, guys. The height is 15.3 mil. As you can see, it does sit quite thick from the base of the shroud there down to the case. It's quite thick, even though it doesn't have domed sapphire crystal. It has a flat sapphire crystal, but yeah, still 15.3 mil thick, and it is 120 grams in weight. Now, when I first got this piece, I decided that, even before I got it, I decided I was going to get a bracelet for it and save this beautiful silicone strap that it comes with. When I actually received the watch, I'd already bought the bracelet, a nice black bracelet from Strapcode, and you know, I just didn't think it suited it. I think this is one of those watches where it just goes against my ruling, where I say I always prefer a bracelet. I do always prefer a bracelet, guys, but when a watch comes like this with the silicone, I like to keep these special pieces as Seiko intended. So yes, it came on silicone, which I don't prefer over a bracelet, but this is the one that Seiko intended it was used with, so that's the one I want to stay with. So I sold the bracelet and kept this piece on its silicone strap, and I'm so glad I did, because it is perfect. Let me give you a quick wrist shot, guys, on my 7 3/4 wrist. There it is on my 7 3/4 wrist, guys. I don't tend to wear my watches tight. I like them a little bit loose. I like them to move around. I get agitated when I get warm and sweaty and they stick to me. So I like to be able to move them around. I think this is probably as tight as I would have it. But there it is on my 7 3/4. What a beautiful watch. I didn't plan to get this watch, guys. I didn't go out hunting for this watch. I'd sold a few of my collection earlier on last year, and this is one that came up on my proxy site from Japan, and I decided that I would go for it because just the aesthetics of the watch, and you know, reading up about it, I just liked everything about it. So I thought I'd try it, and I thought if I didn't really like it, or if I didn't gel with it, then I'd sell it. And I liked it, so I kept it. Beautiful piece, guys. So it has the 7C46 quartz movement. You know, I've spoken about that movement before on my other tuners. It's just a robust tight alloy movement that you only find in the tuna lineup. And this 1000 meter watch, I'll tell you something, guys. When I first got this watch out of the box and I was setting the time, everything about it just felt so well engineered, just felt so dialed in. You know, like, I don't know if any of you are into mountain biking or BMXing or anything like that, but I've been into those all my life. And you know, when you take the crank apart, you've got a 3-piece crank on maybe a BMX or something, you take the crank apart and you put your seal bearings in, and you know, you clean it out, obviously, clean everything out, put your seal bearings back in, and you know, everything's all greased up, and you know, you put it all back together. The first little while when you're pedaling, it just feels so crisp, like there's zero tolerance, there's no movement at all. Everything feels just the way it should be, engineered to perfection. This is what it felt like when I was setting this watch. The crown came out, it snapped out, and it just felt so nicely dialed in whilst I was setting the watch. And to be honest, guys, I hadn't felt that in any of my other watches, and I've got some beautiful watches in my collection, some well-made Seiko divers and some Casio beauties as well, but this one is different. It is definitely different, guys. If you haven't had the opportunity to have a 1,000-meter Tuna Marine Master 1000 in your hand, and you do get the opportunity, I would take it, because it's different. It's next level. It really is. Beautiful, beautiful watch. So, as I said, silicone strap. It's staying. Nice metal keeper. I like that. It's not a numbered piece, but it is, I wouldn't say it's a limited edition. It doesn't even say special edition anywhere, but it's definitely special, guys. It's definitely special, and you don't see them very often. And sometimes you do see them pop up, and the person is just trying it, and he doesn't gel with it, or they don't gel with it, whether it's the color or the weight, or you know, I don't know, they just don't gel with it. But I loved it. I got this, and I actually loved it. And as I say, you don't see them very often, and I think that's why people don't necessarily gel with them completely, but I did with this. So it has a flat sapphire glass, and not all Tuna have sapphire. So I think from the Marine Masters, the 600, the 300, the 600, and definitely the 1000, definitely the 600 and 1000 have sapphire glass on them, and this is a flat sapphire glass. And I don't know if you're catching this, but if you look at the rim of the glass, the perimeter of the glass, every now and then you can see like a green flash, where I believe it is green AR coated. It could just be the chamfered edge of the glass. There you go, right there. That to me, I think that's green AR coated, guys. And this is one of those watches where, okay, if you're a car guy, you'll understand, or a bike guy, you'll understand. When you get a car or a bike, there's a honeymoon period, and that honeymoon period can last however long. It's an immeasurable amount of time. And the way you know you're still in the honeymoon period is if when you get out of that car or get off the bike and you're walking away and you look back, you guys will know. If you guys are car guys or bike guys, you will know what I'm talking about. You look back. It's not because it's new. This can be years after. You close the door, lock it, and before you completely walk away, you look back. That's the honeymoon period that has not finished yet. I get that with this watch. When it's on my wrist and I'm driving, I always use that driving expression, right? Because it's on my wrist, hand on the steering wheel. It kind of jumps out at me, like it catches my eye. The rim of the sapphire catches my eye. I don't know if you can see that, but the bezel insert, it is like a laminated plastic coating over the numbers there. It's a resin plastic insert, guys. Resin insert. And it just adds to this watch. It's just so lovely, so nice to wear. I feel that this is one that throughout the day, whether I'm looking for the time or not, this catches my eye. As a watch guy, you guys know that we don't always look at our watches, our timepieces, for the time. You have a phone, you'll use your phone. And if you do find yourself looking at your watch for the time, it's something special, I believe. You know, obviously there are watches that, you know, you definitely do use for the time, and you won't always have your phone in your hand, but specifically, guys, this watch, it catches me. It kind of catches me out. Like, I all of a sudden, I'm throughout the day, there'll be times where I'll think, oh, man, I wore that one today. Wow. And I'll glance at it for a while and carry on. Other things about this watch, I will say one negative is it is a fingerprint magnet with this ceramic shroud. Definite fingerprint magnet, dust magnet. If you're like me, as I've said before, you spend a lot of time cleaning them as well as wearing them. You know, it's one of those things. What are you going to do? So it has the Lume Bright Lume, perfect for this watch. Now this is an absolute diver's watch. It is 1,000 meter waterproof, specifically for saturation diving. I'm not a diver, but I love the watch. I don't make any excuses for that. You do what you want to do with your money, right? This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to buy this watch. Has a 5-year, that quartz 7C46 movement has a 5-year battery life. Now, this is the other thing about this watch, guys. Screw back, but you would enter this watch from the top. Now, guys, this is not a cheap watch, and I'm not shy of taking my watches apart. I've done crystal changes before. I've done movement changes, changed bezels and shrouds and bezel inserts. I've done all of that, guys. Resized bracelets. I do all of that. The only thing I haven't done is the hands. I haven't done a hand swap yet, and I don't think I have the eyes for it. That's why I haven't done it yet. But I paid, I think if I remember correctly, it was around about the 13-14 mark for this. I think if you look online now, they're going for around about the 17 mark. Obviously, from Japan proxy sells, you can get them from a bit cheaper, but you just have to be prepared to take the risk of shopping overseas, online and overseas. But yeah, I use that, and that's how I get them for a bit cheaper. So around about the 14 mark I pay for this. I am not going to attempt to change the battery on this when it is time, guys. When that second hand starts ticking more to the 2 seconds mark, or to the 2 second interval, I am going to send this away and get the battery professionally changed, get the watch resealed professionally, and get my guarantee again for this watch. I am not going to mess with it. If you have a Porsche, guys, doesn't matter how many brake changes you've done on your Honda Civic, you are not going to change the brakes on your Porsche. You bought the Porsche, you bought into the service, you knew it was going to be expensive to service it when you bought it. If you didn't, you went in it with your eyes closed. And I don't think anyone goes into buying a Porsche with their eyes closed, or a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or anything of that caliber. You knew you were going to have to pay the money. You knew you were going to incur the service charges. So send the car in, or take the car in to get the brakes changed. Same thing, guys. I am not going to change the battery on this watch. I really am not. I'm going to send it away and get it all professionally done, professionally resealed, and get my guarantee again for the watch to carry on. So yeah, 1,000 meter Seiko Tuna. Now, nicknames. It's been called the Yellowfin. I tend to think it has a bit of a Wu-Tang theme going on there, but that's just me. Yellowfin's fine, but I like to wear it with my Wu-Tang shirt or my Wu-Tang hoodie. Just a silly little thing there. But I love it, and I think, you know, if you try it, you would love it too. Unless there's something specific about it that you can't get on with, like the weight of it, or, you know, the fact that the yellow is too bright for you. And I think if the yellow is too bright for you, you shouldn't be buying it in the first place, to be honest. I mean, I think you go into it with your eyes open, guys, right? It's a bright yellow bezel insert. It's a bright yellow minute hand. The second hand is yellow. It's got 1,000 meter inscription in yellow. The chapter ring has yellow markers on it. Like, it's a bright watch, guys. It's a bright watch. It's a bright watch. So I didn't tell you about the casing, did I? The casing is a pure titanium ceramics hard-coated case. So just adding to the materials they use, they didn't spare any expenses on this watch, guys. This is top of the top. And I would be amiss if I wasn't to give you a Lume shot. So let's just do that. If you're picking that up, guys. Oh man. Seiko Lume. What do I say, guys? Does not disappoint. And that will last all night long, as the song goes. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful watch, guys. If you can get one, if you're after one and you can get one, I would say you owe it to yourself to at least try it. I think if you were going to resell because you realize you didn't like it, you wouldn't lose your money. But I think if you really were after one and you were able to reach to one and you actually picked one up, you'd keep it. I'm pretty sure, guys, you would be keeping it, because once you turn that crown and set the watch and put it on the wrist and wear it for a day, I think you will definitely realize that you have a winner. So guys, I don't have anything more to say about this. I think this watch speaks for itself. I will leave you with this. Wear all of your timepieces in the best of health, and until next time, take care.